Well, as you can tell by the screaming behind me, Mr. Villeneuve has arrived, so hopefully we'll get to ask him a couple of questions. Oh, there they are.
That's my job. Yeah, I had to remove all the chocolate aura from Timothée. Yeah.
Maybe we could do like a Dune festival.
I mean, I'm a nerd, so I'm planning on doing it,
Okay.
going to see it again.
Well, we'll have you over for the Dune
Oh, wow.
festival.
One of the tragedies of the first movie, I think, was that it came out during the pandemic and it got that simultaneous release on HBO Max. I saw it in IMAX, and I thought it was one of the most incredible visual experiences I'd ever had in the theater. So how does it feel to know now, for a lot of people, this is going to be their first trip to Arrakis on the big screen the way you intended?
It's a relief. It's a relief to finally have the chance to have a normal film release, and it's yeah. I'm very deeply happy about yeah.
When you're doing something like Dune, where there's really that continuity between the two movies, I'm curious about the continuity in the performances, because I really felt like nobody had lost a step or anything like that. Was it something that you guys were able to jump right back into, or was Timothée Chalamet just talking about chocolate a lot, seeing as how he just done
it's my job to retune all the instruments and to bring the right tone, and I'm paid for that. That's my job. Yeah, I had to remove all the chocolate aura from Timothée. Yeah.
It's only fragments. Nothing's clear.
Maybe Denis told you, but Austin, when we first reached out to him, Elvis hadn't been released yet. So
really?
Denis reached out to Baz Luhrmann to see clips and say, how was it working with him? And there's only praise.
Yeah.
And we understood why when he agreed to do Feyd-Rautha. But in the same way that he completely immersed himself in the character of Elvis, he immersed himself in the character of Feyd-Rautha. He completely disappears. But at the same time, I think he reveals himself as such an extraordinary actor, but also, a person that young audiences will want to know more about. In the same way that they love Timothy, that they love Florence and Zendaya. I think we can now add Austin Butler to that list of actors that, audiences will want to see.
100%.
Feyd-Rautha, he's psychotic.
One of the things that impressed me the most about the movie is that I thought that Chani's role was absolutely incredible, to the point that she feels as much of the star of the movie as Timothée is. And I think that you really found different things in that messianic tale and the religion aspect than really we'd ever seen in any other versions of Dune before. Like, it was much richer, it was deeper. Could you talk a little bit about that? Because it felt like you really modernized the story in a lot of ways.
But the thing is that I try to be as faithful to Frank Herbert as possible. When the first book Dune came out, he was I read them and heard that he was disappointed the way the book was perceived.
Sure.
Like if some readers thought that it was a celebration of Paul Atreides, that Paul was a hero, and he wanted to do the opposite. He wanted the book to be a cautionary tale against messianic figures. So knowing that, I made my adaptation and trying to be faithful to this Frank Herbert initial ideas.
Well, that brings me to the potential third film too, Dune Messiah, which I think would even further that aspect. So you are committed to doing that potentially, maybe not as your next movie, but at some point?
When the screenplay will be ready, yeah, I think it will make absolute sense to finish the arc of Paul. I will not start now because I'm a bit. I need a. I joked. I joked to the studio. I said to them, my next project is the title. The working title is Sleeping in Canada, because I really need to. I did both movies back to back, and I need just a tiny break just to recover, recharge my batteries, to make sure the screenplay is solid.
Kind of like you did with Enemy in between Prisoners and Sicario, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which I think is a really underrated movie, by the way. We're big fans of Enemy at JoBlo. Yeah, it's a great movie.
Enemy is like a secret tribe,
Yeah.
The people who love that movie. It's like we are not a lot, but there are some in the hardcore fans of that. That's funny.
I see possible futures all at once. And in so many futures, our enemies prevail. But I do see a way. There is a narrow way through.
So I was just telling Denis before, I was one of the people that saw it in IMAX, the first one, during the pandemic at TIFF, and I remember thinking it was one of the most visually spectacular things I'd ever seen on the big screen. Is it gratifying to know that now with the sequel, people are finally going to get to experience it the way it was meant to be seen, considering the care that you people put into making it?
Absolutely. I remember that premiere at TIFF, and we're at Cinesphere, and it was so satisfying.
What an amazing theater to see it in, too.
It was the perfect theater to see it in. But unfortunately, as we know, pandemic made everything more complicated for obvious reasons. So this is a true celebration of the cinematic journey that Denis designed for the first film and for the second film. And it was actually quite fun. A lot of people were writing to me saying, I went back to see Dune 1 in IMAX because I hadn't seen it the first time, and now they're seeing the second one. So I feel like it's a homecoming for everyone to coming back to the world of Dune.
I got it.
It's okay. I'm here. I'm here. It's been a while since you've had one of those nightmares. Tell me, what was it about?
I gotta ask, has there ever been a talk of potentially combining the two movies into like one like mega cut, considering how they pick up one after another so quickly?
We haven't discussed it. It's not a bad idea. I mean, it's a bit of a marathon, but I'm sure people are doing that. I've heard so many people are watching the first one again to make sure that they're, ready for the second one. Maybe we could do like a Dune festival.
I mean, I'm a nerd, so I'm planning on doing it, going to see it again.
Well, we'll have you over for the Dune
wow.
festival.
And I mean, it also has to be said that like in between the first two movies, Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya both became even more iconic than they were before. They were well known before, but now they're like global icons. I mean, I have to feel that must help things to a certain extent.
It's the thing that we didn't see coming. Denis wanted to work with talented actors that reflected the characters that he was seeing when he read the book when he was 14. But to see them become such icons and superstars is really quite moving for us to see. We call them the kids, even though they're adults, we know that, but we're older than them, and we just see them just such at ease on the red carpet and breaking the internet with Zendaya and
her outfit was nuts.
The Mugler outfit in London was just extraordinary, but every time they're having fun with it, and you can feel that there's something genuine in their love for fashion, in their love for the film, and their desire to have audiences come see this film in theaters.
Well, they are like true 21st century like celebrities, I think, like probably the next like global icons, I think, probably. Yeah,
it's the new group, we're watching them and we're like, oh, this is interesting to see. Some people call it the new Hollywood. I don't know if I can say that, but I believe it.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You are not prepared for what is to come.